Okay, so let's see how you did. Hopefully you were able to identify that -2, -7 is our vertex. This is because it is the only point that doesn't have a point of reflection, like for example, -3, -6, -1, -6. Here we've got -3, -3, 2, 2. -2, 7 is the vertex. So I'm going to go ahead and connect the dots. To sketch our parabola. So now I want you to discuss with your neighbor and correctly label the vertex, the axis of symmetry, and the y-intercept. Okay. So let's see how you did. We've got the vertex labeled here as -2, -7. This was the point that we had identified in our table. The axis of symmetry should be a vertical line that runs through the vertex, and its equation is x equals -2. And the y-intercept, hopefully you remembered this concept from your previous classes, is the point where our curve intersects the y-axis. And this point is 0, -3. Now I want you guys to go ahead and discuss what we just did with your neighbor. Okay, so next let's start off with something familiar. Here I've written the quadratic formula. If we were to hide this radical, we can see that we've got -b over 2a, and it turns out that this -b over 2a is actually the x-coordinate of our vertex. So let's take a look at the example that we just looked at and graphed and see if we can find the vertex using this -b over 2a. So I've got f of x equals x squared plus 4x minus 3. I'm going to identify my a, b, and c, and I found that a, coefficient a is 1, the coefficient b is 4, and the constant term c is -3. And I'm going to go ahead and substitute that into -b over 2a to find the x-coordinate of the vertex, and I find that I have -4 over 2, which is equal to -2. So that's the x-coordinate of the vertex. Okay, so to find the y-value of the vertex, let's go ahead and plug in -2 into our function, and we're going to find that the function evaluated at -2 is -2 squared plus 4 times -2 minus 3, which is equal to 4 minus 8 minus 3, which is equal to -7. So my vertex is -2, -7. And now if we look back to the previous problem when we graphed this formula, this equation, you can see that -2, -7 is in fact the vertex, so this new method works. Okay, so let's go back here and please go ahead and review what we just did with your neighbor. For our next example, we're going to graph y equals -3x squared plus 6x plus 3. So the first thing that I want you guys to do is to find the x-coordinate of the vertex using -b over 2a. So let's see how you did. First, I identified A equals -3, B equals 6, and C equals 3, and went ahead and substituted in B and A into our equation to find that -6 divided by 2 times -3 is equal to -6 over -6, which is equal to 1. So 1 is the x-coordinate of my vertex. So next, I want you guys to substitute in 1 into your equation and find the y-coordinate of the vertex. So let's see how you did. Here it is. Y equals -3 times 1 squared plus 6 times 1 plus 3, which is 6. So we can go ahead and write that our vertex is 1, 6. So now that we have our vertex, let's go ahead and make an XY table. So you can see that I was strategic about the way that I picked my X values for the XY table. I put in the vertex and then did 2 integer values to the left and 2 integer values to the right. So the next thing that I want you guys to do is for the left person to compute the 2 y values on the left, for the right person to compute the 2 y values to the right. And once you have your table filled, go ahead and plot the points on the graph and draw the parabola.